What is something weird your body does, but you haven't told anyone about because you know it's not normal? I did tell some people in my family. But I have always randomly gotten this stinging pain inside the left side of my chest at random times. Whenever I breathed it hurt more the deeper I breathed in. But once I breathed in a certain amount, I would be fine until I breathed deeper than the last breath. It rarely happens and has never lasted more than 5 minutes. It's strange. Sad nipple syndrome. It's a thing. https://theotherpress.ca/sad-nipple-syndrome. For those who have no idea what this is, understandable, it hasn't been researched and no one really knows why it happens. It's a strange, indescribable sensation that some people get when their nipples are touched. The best way I can describe the sensation is a mixture of dread, homesickness, nausea and, bizarrely, thirst. The feeling goes away after about 20 seconds or so once the nipple is no longer being touched. There doesn't seem to be anything obvious that links those who get it, such as past trauma or breastfeeding mothers. Although it does mainly affect women. 10 years ago I got hit by a car and my neck still creaks. I used to work in a mobile phone repair store. And apparently I was the only person who could hear the high-frequency audio used during wireless data transfer when setting up a new phone. Not sure if that counts? When I take the first bite of food after not eating for a while I get sharp pain from I believe my saliva glands starting up. It only does it on that first bite. If I do any minor physical activity my nose runs. I always have to keep tissue nearby no matter what season. I read a story about this woman that had this. Doctor kept pushing her away and turned out to be her brain leaking fluid. I also have sudden smells come to me. Strong cigarette smoke is the main one. It's as if someone is smoking right next to me. The first thing I eat or drink in a day will sting my soft palate. I just gotta wait for a couple minutes and it goes away completely. I also have a very small hole in the roof of my mouth I can suck air through but only every once in a while. It's small enough that I can't even see it. And only really notice it when I'm trying to drink a smoothie or SMTH. Sometimes at random times I would just smell some smell that would take me back to my childhood days. Then I walk around trying to find the smell but I just never do. When I get negative emotions, my skin feels itchy and burns a bit. For example, if I feel disillusion, this happens. And if the feeling is intense, so the sensation of the skin. If I flex my tongue the right way I can spray saliva out of my mouth like I'm a spitting cobra. I have an extra set of nipples just above my real nipples. Nano in size however very much nips. On occasion my pulse goes a little weird. One moment it's steady and then next moment it like speeds up for just a second and then it's back to normal. It's noticeable because when that happens I start to worry that I'm gonna die. And then it's gone. I wondered if perhaps it's arrhythmia because I was anorexic but I was tested for that at least once each day. So like I will just be standing doing absolutely nothing then I get really dizzy and all my limbs go weak for like no reason at all and it lasts like 2 hours. I don't think it's vertigo because it happens when I'm standing and not standing up like rising from a chair but other than that I have no clue. Waking up in the middle of a night to create insane amounts of heat. From time to time I wake up in the middle of a night. And within a minute, my blanket gets super hot. I have to ditch it, open the window, and move into another part of the bed. But then that part of the bed becomes super hot too. So I have to move to another. And keep doing that until my body gets cold again. After such night, I wake up weighing 2 kilograms less than the previous day. And am visibly skinnier. If I, or especially someone else, touch the right spot on my abdomen when I'm laying on my back, I stretch almost uncontrollably. Like a cat getting a belly rub. It also feels very good. My dad said I even did this as a tiny baby. My scales get itchy when I have been wearing the human suit for too long. Even the baby powder doesn't help. I think that it might be fungus. But I went through Deccan like everyone else. Sometimes I have this feeling where I know I am moving at a regular speed but my mind feels like I am speeding and I tell myself to slow down. I'm sober when this happens so I have no clue what's going on. It's bizarre and will randomly occur. It also feels like I'm spinning sometimes when it happens. Like when you spin around quickly and lay down on the floor to have this weird feeling that you feel the world moving. I have to snap myself out of the feeling or it can go on for a few minutes. Sometimes when I'm about to fall asleep I get this really weird feeling like I'm falling and I can't stop. Like adrenaline rush. Grab at something to stop me falling. It will last a second. I'll go back to just lying there wondering what the hell happened. While falling asleep. At the stage where I'm still half awake. I lose my mental spatial orientation of physical elements in the bedroom if it is entirely dark. To better explain it, there is a good example where I often stop thinking I'm in my current bedroom and for some reason I become entirely convinced I'm positioned on my bed in any of the past bedrooms I have slept in during my life. For instance, yesterday. For something like 5 seconds I was totally certain I was in my previous bedroom from my previous house. And hashtag X200B. Does anyone else get this or is it just me? It doesn't bother me at all, so I often don't think about it unless I put my hand there. But there's like an indent in my leg a bit above my right knee. I don't know what it is. But it's almost like a little crevice. The weird thing is, it's not always there. Sometimes I'll just be sitting on the toilet and notice, oh, the indent's back. Weird. I get this weird, indescribable feeling in my throat when having my feet rubbed. Sometimes when I sneeze while sitting down, I get a sharp pain in what I can only venture to guess is my ovaries. It's not every time, but it concerns me whenever it does happen. I used to have auditory hallucinations when going to sleep in my teens. Sounded like a crowd of people talking. Like a party. And then occasionally a loud shout which I sometimes heard as my name. I never heard what they were actually talking about though. Very occasionally my heart will kind of spasm. It's hard to describe. It's like I suddenly gets an extra beat. Like it's tripping over itself. It happens probably no more often than once a year. Sometimes when I walk my knee just doesn't align properly or something and I'll take a weird wobbly step where my leg bends funky. Also sometimes my eyes will rapidly jitter back and forth for like half a second and it's like a mini seizure. Just as I am falling asleep I get a massive explosion in my head. A huge white light and noise. All in my head. Over in a flashbang. I have no idea what it is. I physically cringe and cannot stand when someone folds construction paper around me. I feel it through my entire body and I hate it so much. I've never really felt the whole butterflies in my stomach type of feeling. But I have felt them in my chest. When I feel a big emotion, I.e. very happy, excited, sad, angry, etc. My heart races and I get a light, airy feeling in my chest. As a kid I thought it was normal. Now every time it happens it scared the heck out of me because I think it's a heart attack or something. I'm physically incapable of burping. Regardless of how much I eat. I have to sneeze twice when I start to sexually fantasize with the real intent of getting off. It is an actual condition called sexually induced sneezing. Never told anyone, except Reddit. Ever been in an empty room and you get this really weird feeling as if you are super small and everything is massive? Really strange feeling I would get. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this same feeling. I am always in some sort of pain. It's not a normal pain. My body doesn't rest when I sleep and as a result I always experience muscle fatigue. It took me 23 years to figure out the weird circles I see sometimes are call-eye floaters and not hallucinations. I haven't looked at the specifics though. Because I'm scared of it not matching up. When I sleep on my stomach my feet go straight up. Bent at the knees. If you try to push them down they are either stiff or pushed down but spring back up. Every time I've ever slept someplace new I get the same comments about my legs doing this weird stuff. Sometimes. Though it doesn't happen often. My senses get overloaded and my mind can't cope with it. Sounds seem really loud and unrecognizable. I have to go someplace quiet and focus to stop it. Very rarely I will bend over in a certain way and feel something slide over the top of my last rib on my left side. Generally it slides right back as I stand up straight again and doesn't cause me any pain. I guess it could be a muscle or something. I'm not so sure. I can hear my spine crunching just under my skull when I turn my head. Not sure if this is normal or not. But sometimes everything in my ears goes kind of fuzzy and I start hearing a high-pitched ringing noise. Usually only lasts for a few seconds and I don't think it's bad or anything though. If you try to pop my butt pimple, I get sharp nerve pain up my spine. Spasms when I take a piss. I don't know why it just happens. But it's starting to get lesser and lesser the more I grow. So it's like a childhood/teen thing? I can do this thing with any body part when I'm stationary where it's almost like channeling energy into it or activating the nerves. It's really weird to explain, but for example it's easiest in my legs. I can trigger it and I go dizzy and my legs just go warm and fuzzy with sensations. Like static, I guess, in a way, if I had to explain it. I can't do it for too long because I feel like I'll pass out. I've seen only 1 or 2 forum posts across the internet about others who are able to do the same thing. Never known what it is. I don't do it often, but anytime I wish to I can trigger it as if it's a natural ability/action. I get these weird spasms from time to time. I'll be going along and suddenly be like, shit, I am having a heart attack, but it's just my body being odd. I can make myself wheeze by twisting my torso to the left or right. It's like I partially crush my lungs or something. I can pop my ankle bone on command when I do this weird movement. I get what's called brain zaps, IG. Where you feel a burst of electricity go through your mind as you're trying to sleep at night. Mostly happens when stressed. Muscle spasms that occur in some parts of the body such as the legs. Edit, pretty sure it's exploding head syndrome from what people have commented. A quick electrical current that travels around my brain within a split second. Makes a kind of zinging sound and disappears after my brain is jolted awake again. If I press the left side of the tip of my nose, the cartilage will often click into place and hold that depressed position until I flare my nostrils and it pops back to normal. Thanks for watching.